Welcome to Confidence Talks. This is part of season 2 Happiness, where we're talking all about body, and we're with Tracy, who is a personal trainer, and we've just recorded a session already all about fitness, and this is following on from there, where Tracy is going to be showing us some simple warm-up exercises that we can do. Essentially, Tracy, do you want to introduce it yourself, what you're going to be showing us here today as a demo?
Yes, when I get somebody to come into the gym, we always need to warm up. When we warm up, they're called dynamic exercises. That means we get oxygen through to the joints in the body, so they're not static. We don't stand still doing them. We need to be moving on in exercises. So I would always obviously understand the difficulties somebody may have in maybe doing certain exercises. So I'd always have that chat with them. But we're going to go through the ones, and if you can do them, this is where we need to be. All right, so we're going to start working with the legs here. So we will be sitting back into a squat. We use our hands to balance our body out. A lot of people tend to go with their knees over. What we need to do is be pushing our bottom back and then sitting down using our hands to balance us out. Pushing through our heels. So this is just what we call a squat. If you can't go down too far, a nice little one to start with, and each time just go to where you feel comfortable. And I'll do probably around about 10 of those. Everything is normally around about 10 reps.
Was that hip width apart feet?
Hip width apart, yeah.
And it's really important on squats that the knees go towards the outside.
Yeah, 100%. And some people have their feet also going out this way slightly if we're going back. But I tend to be sort of in between, not too wide, not too thin, in between, but sitting back. Okay?
Perfect.
Okay, so next one we do is what we call a forward lunge. People tend to over lunge and they go on toes here. What we need to do is keep our body upright. Step, then go down into the lunge, come up, push back. Okay, so this back foot does not come off. A lot of people do this and they're doing that. They've taken the whole of the tension off of there now. So we need to just work freely through. So anybody that has got issues going forward through the knees, then I would say here, bring it up here. Instead of stepping into the lunge, we then come up with the knees here.
Okay. And what will that be working?
That will be working all the leg muscles through to the glutes. We're doing exactly the same here.
Even that
all the leg muscles, it's all through here. We're going glutes, knees, through. Yeah, so it follows the same routine.
Perfect.
So it's just a low impact version.
Yeah.
Side lunges. See how I'm facing forward with my feet? We're looking to strengthen and stretch the inside, but we do this dynamically. So we're moving. So not just staying there and staying for about 5 minutes. We move. As soon as we're there, we move the other way. So it's all about keeping our body in one line. Okay, so we don't step out with the foot here. We always make sure we have our feet this way. So feet here, feet here, feet here. So that's a side lunge. We then go into a back lunge. Back, so we're stepping back now.
What's the difference in terms of doing a front lunge or a back lunge?
Because when you step into a front lunge, you've got more pressure going through the top of your thigh. When you go into a back lunge, the more of it comes into the front here, but it comes into the hamstring more here.
I see, okay.
Okay, but it's also into the glutes, and that's why we do alternate legs. Okay, so we do both glutes, both legs.
Perfect.
Okay, so once we've done 10 each of those, the heart rate started to come up, and then we start. And we're going to bring up
my heart rate's come up watching you.
Yeah.
I'm out of breath just watching you.
And then we'll start to raise our hands. Why? Because the heart now has to do not just the arms, but it has to do the legs. So we're literally making the work of the heart twice as hard now. So we're not running around, but we're still raising the heart rate. So those of you that don't think that you can raise your heart rate and have to be running around just to do that, you can do it just by taking your arms away from your body and doing something with your legs at the same time. We could be kicking out here if you want to.
Make
it fun, you know. Just feel like we're doing something, you know. And some people will go like this for high impact, but you can just do this, yeah. Just lift.
So that'd be low impact.
So you do the low impact version.
But you'll still get that heart
rate
rate up.
You're still going to get that heart rate up. You can hear my heart rate already coming up. Because we keep on continuously doing it.
We're basically getting the engine started, aren't we?
We are. And you only need to take 5 minutes of doing types of exercises just to get the heart rate up. High knees, yeah? Knees, when you do it on the side, it's not this when we run, it's this, yeah? As soon as that knee comes up above that hip.
So you're getting a
You're
crunch
working
as well,
the
aren't
heart
you?
rate, but the glutes are now
Yeah.
really working now. Here, they're not really working.
Yeah.
Here they are. We need to get that range to get into the glutes. Okay, so that's what I would do. So somebody that can run, then run. But we run here, yeah? Running high.
So high knees when you run.
High knees when you run. But if you're someone that's low impact, we do it nice and quick. And we can just bring in the arms as well. So we can do it 2 different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we call high knees. So that's,
So
you can hear my heart already up.
Yeah, so you
Soon
would
as
be
we're
warmed up.
warm, we then get into things.
That was going to be my question. How do we know when we're warmed up? When basically you're out of breath,
Within
where you
5
can't
minutes
talk.
is enough for you to warm up. All you're trying to do is to get oxygen running all the way through your body. That's all you need to do. It takes probably about 5 minutes for everything to get going.
Great, and that's why it has
Starts
to be
in here,
dynamic.
and then it goes into the rest of the body.
Great, and that's why it has to be dynamic, because static would mean oxygen doesn't get in.
Not doing anything, yeah? We can all stand there. Do that, it's not doing anything. It's just stretching really a part of your body rather than, you know? So you need to keep moving. It's what we call dynamic.
Okay,
Okay.
cool. So we're warmed up.
We warmed up.
Well, Tracy is.
So, what I would do is combine a lot of those exercises together. And at least, even at home, people say I haven't got dumbbell weights. You've got cans of beans, whatever you like, cans of soup, put them in your hands, because as soon as you've got a slight weight, it doesn't have to be heavy, it raises the heart rate up. So again, I will be doing lunging, punch, punch. Now we're taking some motions off the body. Here, punch, punch. Or it could be a nice squat and a circle. Squat and a circle. What about that side lunge we just had? Take it all the way around like that. So we've now taken different ranges of movement, but when we add one after the other, the heart rate comes up and up and up, and we maintain it. When you start to get tired, have a little rest and go again. Yeah? Another way of training, not just staying upright, is to go to the floor. But we do up, then back to the floor. Up, then back to the floor. It's called peripheral training. The heart is having to go all the way down here, all the way here, and then have to come up here. It's gravity going up and down. So I would...
So we do a lot of that, don't we? You and I in our class.
you can do it all in high intensity, but you can do a low impact with it as well.
Yeah.
Okay, an example is, there's something called a walkout. Now there's different ways of doing it. If you're low impact, go down to your knees, go down to the floor, come back, bend your knees, push your hips out and stand. Yeah? If you're doing it, a higher impact to that, you walk out, you come to elbows, you put back up onto hands, and you walk back up. Notice how I'm bending my knees so that I'm protecting my back as I get up and down.
So you are walking into, the second one, you're walking into a plank, aren't you?
Into a plank.
And then coming back. Or you can go flat and come back.
You can go flat. Or, if you want to make it even harder, we can do the press up. And we can then walk up.
Okay.
You can add and take off so many different dimensions to that. You can go out without going to a plank. Let's do a little of a mountain climber. And then we come up. So we're introducing legs and upper body on that exercise.
Yeah.
Do 10 of those, you'll feel your heart rate really coming up. Then we stand up, and then we might go into one of those exercises. Get the cans of beans and do some high, maybe 30 seconds here.
And
then,
as you said, lower weights and high repetitions is actually what...
But if you go up and down, your heart rate will come up.
So which did you say? You were talking about what actually burns fat quicker. You said it was...
High intensity.
High intensity.
High intensity does, because we burn a much higher rate within the body, and it's burning, but it's the afterburn. So what happens is, because the heart rate is at a much higher rate,
it's already going.
It takes longer for it to come down to a level. When you run, just like this at normal pace, your heart rate will come down within 1 to 2 hours. Generally, when you do HIIT work, it's about 12 to 18 hours after. So you can see how much more effective it is. Yet you've done 20 minutes, but you could literally do 30 seconds on the bike, absolutely hell for leather, have a minute off, go again. You can do that in literally like 4 minutes worth. And that is just as good as running for an hour out on the road. So
seriously,
it's all about quality and not quantity.
So these exercises that you've just shown us now, can they be used as part of a HIIT, so high intensity training?
I'll give you an example. So someone that's low impact would do this. Yeah, so you might have that. So we're doing that, and you do it for like 30 seconds, and you might have 10 seconds off, or 20 seconds 10. Somebody that is doing the higher impact, it will be touch the floor, jump up high. So you're doing the jumping version.
Yeah.
Yeah. The same instance it would be is if you're doing a side lunge, the other person could be doing a skater. They're doing the jumping.
Which would be the higher impact of it. Yeah.
Okay. So you've got also, you could do press ups. So a press up can be done in different ways. It can be done up against the wall, so you're just pushing against the wall. If you have a problem with your knees, do it on with your knees, like putting pressure through. Do it on your knees and do it up against the wall, so you've still only got just the upper body. But coming down, this is one of the most commonest ones I see people doing wrong.
I agree. Yeah, press ups. The position.
What you've got to remember is you need to get your shoulder to your bottom in one straight line, neutral line. The only way you're going to do that, I'm not in neutral line now, and that's where most people get in position. And then they're doing this, and it looks like someone, like a chicken pecking at its feed. Take it right the way out till you've got to a position where you can see where I'm a straight line.
Yeah.
Right, now this also is very narrow, because when I do like that, it's very close to the body. So just take a little hand out, and all I'm going to do is lower my body in that, as if I've got a rod through my back.
So your back, your entire back here stays straight, doesn't it?
We don't have any of this, so we're doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one line. Get to that position, and it doesn't matter if you feel, oh, I can't get back up, then go back up to there.
And the different arm positions will work different muscle group, won't they? So
yeah, you're working the chest here. The lower that you go, you're working into more of the pec area as well, which is this area here. The shorter distance you go, you're working more into here.
So the narrower you get your upper hand.
The narrower you go, if you go here, this is what they would do as a tricep. That's the tricep press up.
Which is not very easy.
It's hard. But it's very hard. Hence why a lot of people, when they do this one, they're too close and they're trying to do a press up like this, and it's so awkward.
Yeah, but the triceps as well, people tend to bring them narrow in, but they're doing them in front of them, where actually the triceps
has to be sitting underneath
they have to be,
because they're pushing the body up.
Yeah, if you're easily doing tricep press ups, guys, if you're able to do like 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're not doing it properly.
Yeah, so if people are doing press ups, you've got press ups normal, you can do a split press up, so you can learn to do it that way.
Windmill press ups as well.
Yeah, and you can also even have something here, so you can have like a platform, so that you'll put your hand on the platform, hand down here, so you're at different levels. You can do that. You can do diamonds. That's much more difficult when you go down like that.
Yeah.
Obviously we've talked about the tricep one, so you'll be doing that one.
Yep.
Straight up line. Yep.
You can even do the
here. If people doesn't want to do a press up, they can be doing tapping on the shoulders and then getting back up.
The key to all of this, to all the press ups, is that posture of the back. Your back remains completely straight. You move it as one piece.
If anybody feels that, not to deter people to get a full press up in, that if they try to start doing full press ups, only do one, then go to knees and carry on. Yeah, and the lower you go, the better.
Posture is definitely more important than how many you do.
If you start to feel it in your back, stop.
And I think that's where a lot of people, I see them dipping their backs when they're doing
a lot, and they try to do that extra rep and it's doing them no favours.
No.
If it was me and I was struggling and it was hurting my back, I'd be in that position and I'd be holding that, or I'd get to a position and just try and hold it.
Yeah.
So I'm really putting under pressure and working that body, but I'm a much safer position.
Yeah. So working from beginner through to intermediate beginner, which I'll ask you in just a moment to show us against the wall or if they've got injuries. So you've got from against the wall to doing it with completely your legs on the ground, on your knees, or then you can lift your feet up and just have your knees on the floor, or then you can go into a full. So there's lots of different ways
options that you can do a press up on.
Okay.
And nothing is wrong in anyone's eyes. You do what you feel is more comfortable. And if you've never done a press up, always start on the wall. And I always find people that are older as well, because they haven't got such good muscle mass, that holding even their body weight, pushing up and down is really difficult for them. Start on the wall.
Can we have a look at what that would look like?
So you're literally just standing away from here, hands wide, get yourself legs there, and all you're doing is looking to put the chest to here, with there. So all you're
but
doing
again,
is
you are keeping your body
entirely
one
line.
So
if you really feel that it's going to be, stick a little pole up there if you really want to, just to feel that you're not bending, because as soon as you feel it, you know that you're bending.
Yeah.
But you literally
Or you could put a ruler, if you had a ruler.
Yeah,
you
could
put that
literally,
there. Or...
all you're doing, but you're working the chest and the back muscles here are working.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So if somebody else had problems standing, you know, there could be some people that are a little bit less able, and you could still do it from here. So you don't have to be standing to do
Brilliant.
it.
And the same concept applies about bringing your hands in narrow. Can you do tricep presses on the wall?
It's much more difficult. You couldn't do that on the here, solely because if you think about it,
you can't get in.
I wouldn't advise it.
Yeah.
If you're going
but then you can do it.
If you can do tricep press ups, you should be doing a full press up first before you get into tricep ones.
Fair enough.
That's what
okay, great.
Say.
So that's the press up.
Yeah.
So far you've shown us. First of all, you've shown us all
the lunges, the squats,
the lunges, yeah.
Press ups, walkouts. You know, everything else is just what we call high impact type thing. There are so many different with exercises you can do with your arms. You know.
Arms really does add a lot of weight.
Yeah, and literally just having something small. The core. If anybody wants to do core, I personally do not get people doing sit-ups so that they're sitting up this way. Solely because everybody uses their neck, they use their back and everything.
It's so tough.
I do everything down here. So I start off with plank position. Yeah, even if they can't do a full plank, I put them on their knees, and then I can also get them to twist out. So they're learning to work. All this area here is maintaining a tight core.
So with the plank, just talk us through the posture, especially with the knees on, because I can see your legs are slanted. A lot of people, again, are kind of almost like a tabletop.
Yeah, no, that's the full plank.
Mm-hmm.
This is the plank that is the low impact one.
But full plank, see what generally happens. Do you see how Tracy's body is
people end up
completely
being
straight?
I'll tell you the example, it's a tent.
We're
not a tent. Okay.
Bums come down. It has to be a flat line.
Completely flat.
Absolutely. And if you're going to do it with your legs down, then it's just having that slant in your legs.
There's examples we can go out, but again, don't be up here and then start doing it.
Yeah.
Perfect that position because that is the best one that is supporting that middle core.
And then build on that.
And then you can do side and hold to start with. And then you can add different difficulties to it. Perfect the right one first and then move on and progress.
Yeah, get your foundation right and then build on it.
100%. So there's many other, I mean, you know, you can have fun with somebody here, tap in with your mates, you know, buddy up. That's another one that we didn't mention earlier.
Very motivating.
I would say it's very motivating if you get a friend to go with you, because if there's somewhere where you're going to go, don't ever arrange to meet them at the house. Meet them wherever you're going, because if they don't turn up, at least you're already there. And then you might as well work out, aren't you? You made the effort to get there.
That's true. I mean, we spare each other on in the class, don't we?
Yeah.
Like, when we've done a particularly tough track, we just give each other that look going, oh my God.
How tough is she today? Yeah, even I find the workout tough, but I work to my level. Everybody works to their own levels in classes, you know. So that's why it's good to work together with people. But yeah, I mean that's one of the positions that I definitely work with here. And yeah, and another one obviously for the core. We all do something quick for the high impact, which we call this one the mountain climber.
Again, mountain climbers I think is very easy to get wrong.
Here, this is where most people do it, and they bring the knees up here.
Whereas your weight needs to be forward.
You need to have your shoulders over your hands. They have to be there. They're not here, they're there. That's where they need to be. And when you bring it in, your knee comes in. A lot of this range, a lot of people can't even do because they're so tight in the hamstring.
Yeah.
But the aim is, wherever it is, bring it in low, do it slow. Bring it in low, do it slow. That picks up your core. You will feel the difference. If you do it quickly, then start doing it slowly. And the two differences are, they're no
Should
match.
that be on your lower stomach?
That's all on the lower. That's
lower
on the lower, but it will feel, your whole body is in for holding.
Yeah.
You'll feel it here because that's the main central gravity to the body. But it's working all that core. But the major area you'll feel it more will be that central bit that you've got in there. Yeah. So that's enough. And then you can add. So you can do that. So you've got different things that you can do across. So we can't work more on the oblique. That's more advanced that you would do.
Yeah.
Get the first thing right. Yeah. Don't try anything before you can walk.
Yeah.
You know.
And as you said, you mentioned that you'd actually be better at these exercises if you did that warm up actually, and if you worked on stretching out those muscles as well. So what I'm going to ask you to do is just let us know.
Can I just go back to that mountain climber? I was going to say that if people find it difficult to get to the floor on it, you can do it leaning on a chair, because it gives you that slight elevation and it also takes a little bit of pressure off people's backs.
That's definitely a good one.
I do that when I do burpees with people. I have like the box. So if they want to do a burpee, they're not having to go all the way through and get their body through. They're just having to jump there and come back.
Maybe I'm
and
weird,
then up.
but
And you
I
can use
really-
burpees off the sofas.
I love burpees. I'm
Yeah,
weird.
but a lot of people struggle to get their body weight in, or they do a lot less. But here, it encourages you to get the flow going, because you've just given that, and also protects the back grip. Because if you think about it, if you're jumping in there, how much you have to elevate that body in to get up. But here, there's a lot less elevation of their body coming through.
Yeah.
So it's a lower impact. People get confident doing it, and then we can lower it all the time. Get
And
a
then they're
little
more
step.
motivated. Then they'll see results as well, and that's what.
And because
keeps
burpees
going.
are really good for people, and people don't do them because they can't do them. But if we give them a different option, they end up doing them.
Yeah.
So that's
Brilliant.
also a good one.
Any others for core that jump out to you?
I'm just trying to think. A lot of mine, you know, we did the wall one. The wall sits that we said was good.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Right. So what I would do is get a weight and lift it here, because as soon as you lift something through here, it's the core.
Yeah.
So that's where a core coming in. So it's doing a lot of different things. It's strengthening the legs, but it's also working the lower core. Again, for ladies that have got hysterectomy, cesareans, had hernia operations, and in the ACLs, that's the really good exercise to do that we've done.
And I think when we say core, a lot of people just think kind of just abs, top abs and stomach. But what we're talking about is there's
All
top
the way
abs,
down.
there's lowered abs. Your pelvic floor comes into that as well,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
100%. I mean,
The bridge is the classic.
another
isn't
one that we do is called the bear crawl. And this is all about keeping the knees low to the floor. So it's a bit more like a
I
half
struggle with the
mat.
back roll.
Yeah, but the reason that is because there is no release out that, and
Out
the
of the
legs aren't
posture,
going
yeah.
all the way through to release this, because once you come right the way out and go out, that's releasing out.
Yeah.
But when we're here, it's keeping it in,
It's
only there,
constant.
keeping it back in. Yeah, so it's always really, really tight.
Yeah.
But I always recommend my clients always have to do these tight ones, because that will make the tummy flatter a lot quicker than going this way. Because for example, I'll show, this is what people do. Or they'll put their feet under something, and now they're using
And legs.
legs.
Yeah.
A good tip if they want to do the sit-ups, they prefer them, have your legs like that.
Yeah.
Abs now
That works
are totally
lower,
working.
yeah.
No leg is allowed to come into motion, and look how much harder it is to get up.
It's
if
also
I do that, I could do that all day long.
Yeah.
Because legs actually do come into play, and people don't realise how much they come into play.
It's actually also about sometimes the smaller movements, isn't it? Very small
100%.
movements. You shouldn't be doing
Just
like really
pulse,
quick.
pulse,
Yeah,
pulse.
pulsing.
Yeah. If you want to do that. But for me, I stay away from generally a lot of these ones, because if we keep doing this, it just goes into the back, goes into their neck. It causes more problem where this one's more effective.
So then you've got to kind of then deal with that. after
Yeah,
the sit-up.
and I don't want to give people issues. I want to support their issues and then give them something better that will help them on their journey, rather than, you know, slowing their journey down.
Skipping out your face there. So we basically talked about the top of the abs. We talked about the pouch, so the lower bit of the abs. You've shown us a few for those. What about muffin tops? The last one, and then we'll kind of move on.
That all works in with when we do a lot of the oblique work. Yeah, so you could be doing side planking. So you've got side planking here.
There's a few different variations to this too, isn't there?
Yeah, you can go up to make it even harder. Obviously to that side. You can tuck under, yeah?
And
so you can have a weight in your hand, and you can do all of that. You can do this one where we went back to the plank and we swivel hip
Oh yeah,
to
that's
hip.
there.
So you're doing something there. Again, sideways on, it's not too bad on your, and rather because you're not on your back, but you can do this one. You're going
Now
across it.
again, that's one that a lot of people get wrong. You see them doing it really quickly because they're coming, I think, forward instead of going to the side.
No, it's side on.
Side.
Because that's what we're working, side. Here.
Yeah.
And you're reaching for the toes.
Yeah.
So it's the full motion out, in.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
forwards.
Yeah. So that's a real, and I mean, obviously for the extension is the legs going up all the way that we do. But
Perfect.
that is more what you would do oblique work with. On the back there is oblique work, but I don't do a lot of oblique
The
work.
toe taps, you mean?
For me, it's all about
Again, it's
using
neck and shoulders, yeah.
Stay clear.
No, I agree with you. I do struggle, like,
Yeah.
I always find I have to support.
I don't do those ones unless someone's doing it for me in a class and I've got to do what's in the class.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the one that I would do more on the back is go the opposite direction. So it was all about lifting.
Again, this one is a tough one to do.
But it's lower abs. That's lower
Yeah.
abs. That's why. Because lower abs are much more difficult to get to. But everybody will relax off and they swing their legs.
Yeah.
You don't. You actually go up and you drop the bottom in and legs go over the head. Up, here, up, here. And then you can add a twist if you want to. And again, that brings in the oblique work even more.
Blimey, Tracy, how are you talking while you're doing this? Okay, that's brilliant. Now look, I do know you've got to get somewhere as well. So as a last thing, what I'd like you to show us is just the stretches, those really simple stretches that are going to improve our posture.
Let me go through it
And-
nice and quick then for you. This is how I would stretch. I'm just going to go from one to the other
Yep.
so that you see. And I normally take about 20 minutes stretching. So I start off with the cobra position, stretching out the lower back. Okay, here, trying to keep the flexibility in. I then take it back, I widen the knees, I drop in so that I can get my body to the floor as much as possible. And I push out here as well to relax off the abs from the back as well.
That'd be child's pose.
Child's pose, yeah.
But the hips, you can see that actually your knees are off to the sides.
Yeah, out to the side. A lot of people do it here and they can't
Yeah.
get down. So an extra way of actually stretching something else as well and help is to go that way. I then will bring up the leg in front of me and I have it at a point so that knee does not go over there. A lot of people do this stretch and their foot's there and they're like that.
Yeah.
Well, that means they can stretch further. So it's like that and then it goes into more hip flexor here, just as much as the front bit here, but underneath here. Some people will feel it in their glutes because the glutes are tight.
But aren't you supposed to also, when you tuck forward, you feel that stretch
Stretch
going down?
right the way through
Yeah.
here. But
As soon
also
as you
it's
just engage.
don't lean,
Mhm.
stay upright. If necessary, you want to add something else, you can always add your arms going behind you and that gets your chest up and pushing back there. And then again, obviously I would change legs. Okay, so I'd go over to doing that leg and do exactly the same. But I also, on this leg, I would be touching there, turning.
This is a good one.
So this way, and then I would go down and again repeat but further down. So we've got
And
more of a stretch.
what is this really working on?
This one here, not only does it do your arms and everything else, but it actually stretches further through to here. Because when you're here, you don't get that stretch. You're just getting it on the back, the lower here.
Yeah.
Here, not only is you doing your lower back, but it's working in from your glute into your hamstring now.
So do you get a bit of the groin muscles as
yeah,
well?
the
Because
groin,
it's actually quite easy to pull muscles around your groin.
Absolutely,
isn't it?
yeah. So again, I would repeat that on everything I do one side, I always do the other. I also will do bringing up the toes. A lot. If we sit upright and do that, a lot of people already feel the stretch underneath right through the back of the knee. What I can say is, if anyone gets any tightness in the back of their knee, is to put ice at the end of the day underneath your here, lay out and put ice packs under there just to reduce inflammation. It's a really good tip for the
So
lower.
you do the whole rice. So rest.
No,
ice,
just
compression,
ice.
just ice.
Just ice.
Okay.
So all you need to do is ice, just to lower inflammation out there.
Okay.
Because some people get very tight and inflamed in there, and it's a really good tip to do. So I do that, and then I would I work down from my hip over, than rather trying to lean over this way. So I go that way, and the more I bring the toes up, the more I stretch into that.
So you're just taking it one step at a time.
But I go, start off with that one. I'm there, I'm comfortable. I go down, I'm comfortable. Try a bit more, and I bring the toe up. So you go to whatever level you want to for each one. Again, I'd swap over. Then I would come down and start with by putting both feet together, standing and just, you can put your arms out like that to push them out to help, but the aim is don't lean over, so make sure you sit back, straight back. If necessary, do it against the wall, and then you can feel yourself whether you're there or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then take that one step further, go there, push that one really down, and again, the top of your thigh is to be hit first by your body, over, reaching out, toes towards you when you can. If you can't, don't worry, but that means that that's obviously tight. You can't do that. So it's all about engaging where you can engage to and leaning right over. Okay, and you can take that slight turn, and I can really feel that pulling on that lower back round there to loosen it. Again, I'd swap over, but then what I do is I put my leg over, turning and twist now. And a lot of people's backs will click now because they're starting to loosen, so you can hear some clicking going. No
so
problem.
it's important actually what order you're doing the stretches in.
Yeah,
because you're building
trying
up.
to loosen bit by bit, stretching it out. Because when you work out, you build up something called lactate, and that gets into the muscle. If you don't release it, that's when we get DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. But we also get muscles that aren't been out, stretched out, and they get tight. So there's lots of different things going on. So we would do that, and it's not about just going there and holding. You need to turn and look at the wall behind you and try and pull that knee as much as possible around you. Yeah, so you're really pulling around that lower back. Okay. Perfect. We then go onto the back. We then have front knees. We then put the leg over. First of all, I just lift.
I find this one so useful.
This now starts to work in the outside of the thigh and glute here.
So I told you that's where I get a lot of tension build up. This really
and that's where a lot of people will have tightness just in here, just that area there. The more you push that, the more it goes in there.
Yeah.
All right. So it's all about just relaxing. If you're finding that with you, you're very flexible and it's all right, put your hands in there, but don't lift this up. Bring it towards you.
Don't take your head to the feet.
You're just tightening your neck muscles now. We're trying to loosen everything off, and now we're tighten everything. So just bring it to where you feel comfortable with. Everybody's range is going to be different. It's about working through that range. And deep breath. When you take a deep breath, and it's been holding it for a while, can it be pulled out a little bit further? That will relax the body, and it might allow you to bring it a little bit more further. Okay?
So with each stretch, we take a deep breath in
and release. And the release out is nearly twice as long as the breath in, because you're trying to get all that air out here and relaxing that body. The abs is the main core of your body, and that is your number one to release. Release that, everything else works with it. Yeah, that's where we work from.
Perfect.
So then I'd stand up and then I'd start doing, we talked about earlier, take your trainers off and do the stretch to there, because you can see how much alleviation I've got on my foot. So for me, I've still got that to go to the floor to stretch my calf out. But there's a very important tendon here, the Achilles, that doesn't stretch, it snaps. All right, tendons do not stretch, all right, they will snap. So that's one area you really need to, and a lot of people get injuries where they've got bad Achilles and they can't walk properly. That's because when they lift the foot, that tendon will not stretch, it is pulling on it. Yeah,
so even more important to keep all the other muscles around it very well.
And
very strong.
So we've done that one. So we then go to the opposite side and we pull on the quad. So again, we will repeat that on the other side.
Again, with this one, I find people stick their bum out a lot, but you got to pull
I always
it in.
do soft knee here.
Yeah.
Always soft knee, never trying to pull it right back. Just to get that stretch in, that's all you need to do. Yeah. And if you need to release and go back into the hamstring, just drop it, go back in with your toe up and come back again. Yeah. Release and work, trying to stretch either side. Once we've done, we then go into dropping over into your hamstrings. Again, I will say it a lot, I say it to everybody, don't bounce. If you bounce, you are just going to ping something. Just hold the stretch, and when you can go further, you go to wherever you can go. Yeah. It might be that you can only get to here, but stay there. Don't get that notion to want to do that. All right, your muscles might have been warm, but they're getting cold and they need to stretch them out. We need to pull them out, and it's a gentle procedure. It's not a jolty one, and that's all you're doing. And then we just take the leg further out, and we take that leg further where we feel comfortable, and we lean into one. Again, only go to where you feel. Don't try and overstretch, just to go where you are. And if that's feeling uncomfortable, just move to the other side for a little while if you like, and keep it, but hold it for a period of time, and then maybe move across to the other side. Yeah, that's all we're doing. And then just make sure we can come back together and we roll up. Release out your back here, chest, push on the back of your hips. Here, head up, bring them out in front, stretch around the back of your shoulders, push them out, push away. From there, we take it behind. Because people are round shouldered a lot, their shoulders are already here. So when they go like that, they can't lift them very high at the moment. So your aim is to get them shoulders to be pushed back. And the pushback means you can get them up there. Do not put your head forward like this, trying to get them any high. It's no good. You're not going to improve anything. You just need to get them shoulders back and get them as high as you can over time. Take the arm across. Straight arm pulls. Not bent, straight. Trying to pull around the shoulder. Okay?
A lot of people I've seen, if they're not shown correctly, can actually be pulling their arm.
Yeah, we
It's
don't
actually
just
pulling
pull
on
it
the
across
shoulder.
to wherever it can go.
It's just holding
Some
it there.
people can't, because they want to get it round here, they bend the arm to do that. You're not doing anything. Just take it to where you feel you can go. It's your body, you do what your body can do, and that's how you've got to look at it. Take that same one behind, so it's middle of the back, push down, head stays up, doesn't go down, head stays up, push down to wherever you can. And again, repeat, other side, and down there. Then, step away, arm high, over, and hold. You'll feel that right the way up through here. If you find it's hard to balance, you lean against the wall, push up, and you can really push your hip out more. So it's a good one to do against the wall. But get the position right first, upright, up first, and push the hip as the arm goes over. Don't try and do that without pushing the hip. Okay?
Perfect.
That pretty much is where I would go with the exercises.
That's brilliant. Look, what you've shown us here is great warm-ups. You've told us it should be, each warm-up exercise you said should be for about
30 seconds.
30 seconds. And how long would you spend on a warm-up?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. And then you've shown us HIIT, so high intensity training, which basically means very quickly raising your heart rate, bringing it back down. So it could be a 10-second rest, or
yeah, you normally twice as much as what you rest.
Okay, so you exercise
when you're
twice as
doing
much.
short periods, so 20, 10, or 30, 15. But I would go, and then you build it up with 30 to 10.
And you could do
So the less recovery you have, we call it oxygen debt time, trying to get oxygen in while we're resting, the more fitter that you're going to get. But it's building it up in small quantities.
So start by maybe 3 different exercises that you're putting together.
Yeah, and just do as much as you can do, and don't go any longer than 10, 15 minutes to start with.
That's enough if you're doing HIIT.
It's all about working as hard as you can through that whole period of time that you're working, and then you rest off. So it's no good, I'm doing running. It's running. Or
really get your
low
heart rate
impact
up.
running, it's knees up. Go as hard as you can, because you're going to benefit by doing that.
And is Tabata pretty much the same thing as HIIT?
Exactly the same.
Exactly the same, it's just a different style. Okay, so you've shown us those great tips, and you've shown us every variation from a beginner to actually somebody who's advanced, and how you can build it up.
Yeah.
And what's more important is you've just shown us basic stretches, even when you're not working out, the stretches you should be doing.
Yeah.
Even guys, if you just start in the morning when you wake up and you get out from bed, stretch. Breathe, get that oxygen into your muscles.
Belly breathing's another one, but that'll be another day.
Yeah, after belly breathing, just what Tracy means, if you've come across it before, is we all do lazy breathing. So we breathe into our chest, and you can see your chest rise and fall. What we should be doing is breathing into our belly, so you should actually be able to see your belly rise and fall. You can practice by, as Tracy's doing, put your hands on your stomach.
Pregnant lady, when you breathe in.
Absolutely, because that's how you're actually filling your lung capacity and getting the oxygen, which is so important to your muscles. That's what keeps you going, So if you charge your phone fully, and you wouldn't leave the house without a charged phone, why would you leave the house without a charged body? So please make sure that if you don't do anything else differently, just when you wake up, stretch, take deep breaths into your stomach, not just in the morning, but all the time. Try and be conscious of breathing into your stomach. Watch your posture when you're walking, pull your stomach in when you're walking, so you're not putting pressure on your lower back. Simple things like that. And at night, Tracy showed us the one to release, she talked us through the one to release our back. We can just do a quick demo. Just a quick demo. This one, which releases and switches off your back and will give you a great night's sleep.
That's it.
And if you do have
20 minutes. 20 minutes.
20 minutes. So
No,
put on your
none of
favourite.
None of this. Or
Nothing.
doing this, or looking at people and doing that.
And no cushion, no cushion or anything.
No cushion. It has
flat.
to be flat. Your shoulders. Some people's shoulders will be off, right? Because they got shoulder. But that's fine. But what I don't want you doing is lifting or doing
a natural flat posture. So don't strain. Pop on our podcast, have a listen to it, or put on your favourite TV show, or chuck on a nice face mask or something. Stay there for 20 minutes. If you can't do 20 minutes, start with 5, build it up to 10, but it's for your benefit, and you will sleep much better. If you've got troubles with your lower back, or your back's just achy at the moment, popping a not too thick, but basically a pillow between your knees when you're sleeping, and sleeping to one side, takes that pressure off your lower back.
Okay.
So this has been Tracy. This has been Confidence Talks, talking all about the body. And Tracy, just really quickly, if people did want to get in touch with you about personal training sessions, how can they do that?
They can either email me on t.koch, which is KOCH 667@yahoo.com, or ring me 0758 441 3825. I'll be happy to have a Zoom chat, whatever you want to do, and we can take it from there. So you don't have to just ring to commit to something. We can still just have a chat.
Brilliant. You can also get in touch with us at Confidence Talks, and I can also put you in touch with Tracy. So guys, please don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of these episodes or any of the topics we talk about. But for today, this has been Confidence Talks. Tracy, you've been awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you guys.